We welcome you live from the West Coast. We are out at the LA Coliseum for the first time ever in the Misfit Touring Series in history. Tonight we're running continued of Season 3, but this is the first ever time that we have run at the LA Coliseum, and boy, is it going to get interesting. This is a track only the Cup Series has ever run, but we're going to see how the late models want to run tonight. We're running this because it is a mystery night, and my name is Scott Shive. I'm proud to be joined along by Bradley Cooper, as well as our cameras. And excellent, he's doing production and he's doing analyst tonight. Bradley, thank you for being here.
Good to have you back here, Scott. Looking forward to this one. Actually having a little bit of technical issues with my ATVO right now, but we're going to try our best to get that fixed. But yeah, LA Coliseum, a racetrack that was invented. It was not created. This was a football stadium back in the day. And so, you're fitting cars. They talk about Bristol. They talk about some of these short tracks where it's like a football stadium with cars in it. That is literally what we're going to witness here tonight.
The interesting thing as well about the LA Coliseum is it's just a quarter of a mile. It is a quarter of a mile oval, almost no banking in the turns. It's the same banking all the way around, just 2.5 degrees. That's really nothing. It's obviously something because it's not zero, but any surface you're going to go on in this natural world is almost never going to be zero. Obviously opened just recently, a couple of years ago, 4 years ago on February 6th, and who knows if we'll ever go back to it again, but it remains alive in the iRacing sim for us to do stuff like this. And speaking of mystery, it is a mystery night. That is why we're here, but it is also the second race of the Triple Crown Showdown here on the MRL Misfit Touring Series Season 3. So this is a in-season challenge for some money and a big Molly's Custom Silver Belt Buckle come the end of the season. But now this race, it spans halfway through the season, Bradley, and we're halfway. We're already halfway through this season, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, and you look at the points here, based off of what we're seeing right now. Christian Peterson with a 26-point lead over Kyle Terzak, Jake Grout. It's pretty tight here in the top three, but then you go back to Brandon Atkinson, 117 points out. That's a big spread here. So it's really halfway through the season, kind of already down to just 3 drivers.
Yeah, Jake Grout, he had held it for the opening half of the season, but he has yet to take a victory. He's got a couple podiums and a top 5 in every single race except the last one. And that last race where Peterson and Terzak just continue to put finishes up on the board, they are still the only 2 winners. Kyle Terzak, 5 wins this season. Christian Peterson, only 2. But Kyle Terzak's had to use some drop weeks, so this system could change a little bit with some drivers having missed races, some not. So right now, if you were to determine that, Kyle Terzak would probably be in your lead, but we don't encounter that at this moment, so the points are as they read. So Christian Peterson is your new championship leader from last race at IRP. Also, Bradley, right now, it's 3 in a row for Terzak. He's won Kern, South Boston, and Lucas Oil back-to-back-to-back. Tonight, could he go for a 4th in a row, 6th overall? 125 laps we will run tonight. If you need pit road, well, it's 20 miles an hour, so you're going to take a while to get on through it. You're guaranteed to go a lap down. No extra tires, so these drivers might be going down there if they need repairs or anything of that nature. 3 green-white checkered attempts, as always. And no invert tonight for the Triple Crown Showdown. It was Kyle Terzak putting up the fastest time. And these drivers only had under 24 hours to make their setups because, again, this was a mystery night. There is going to be an invert, which haven't gotten the word on it yet. Looks like Jake Grout's going up towards the front. So we'll get you that number in just a moment. But going through your starting grid, this is as they qualified. Kyle Terzak and Jace Hale up on row number 1. Of course, they will be swapped around. Then back behind them, row number 2, as they qualify, Landon Atkins, as well as Jake Sylvia back for the first time this season, our Season 1 champion. In row number 3 behind them, starting in 5th, it will be Brandon Elvis with Jake Grout, the man in the 49, and it is a 6-car invert. So that is your front row with Jake Grout starting on pole. as they read going down, it will be as they are slated. Christian Peterson in the 171 starting 7th. Michael Wiseman in the 74 starting in 8th. To round out your top 10, it'll be William Hale and Aiden Millette. Behind them, it is Christopher Shepard, Greggy Long, Matthew Knott, Riley Music, and Thomas Dean to round out this 15-car field. Bradley, well, we got long straightaways and tight corners. What do you expect?
I expect somebody to get into somebody. There's no room in this place. So I would not be surprised if someone gets ran over, if someone tries to move someone out of the way. That's just inevitable. It's short track racing, and it is one of the shortest tracks you'll ever see on iRacing.
It is. It is, and it's going to go by extremely fast. Sometimes we're in 125 laps for half miles, but this is a quarter. We go through the restart zone. Here we go at the LA Coliseum in late models. And already Brandon Elvis around at a turn 2 right in front of the field. Already 4 cars involved, including Landon Atkins, Jake Sylvia, Jake Sylvia in the 118 will reverse it all the way down. We'll have a caution quickly before we've even completed lap 1.
Yeah, and having more technical difficulties here as I've lost sound with iRacing. It's one of those issues that I thought I had resolved earlier today. So trying to get that fixed. But yeah, right out of the gate, Jake Grout got a jump and then wheel spin in the background. We'll try to take it on a replay here and see what happened exactly.
Well, we do apologize about these technical issues for all you fans, and we're glad you're watching with us. We know the Chili Bowl's going on right now. I'd love to be watching it, but I'm also glad to be sitting in this seat, so we thank you for joining along with us. This is the initial start. You see Kyle Terzak file into line very quickly. It looked like to me that Landon Atkins lifted the rear tires of Brandon Elvis nearing exit of turn 2, and he lost grip.
Yeah, there's the green flag dropping. You see a move to the outside there, contact with the 54.
And this is the thing that we didn't get yet to talk about, Bradley, is that, I mean, if there's wreck in front of you, it's nearly impossible to avoid. Cars pile up very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you go through this kind of systematic approach of every single week. We have drivers that know their capabilities, maybe practice this place, but with Mystery Night, you didn't get a lot of time, right? This is a track that these guys aren't really familiar with in this car and this setup. So when you come into this place, maybe in the approach that, okay, we're gonna come out here just as fast as we've always been. That's not always the case. So these guys are going to get a lot of practice as the race progresses. 5 laps in, back underway.
Already, Kyle Terzak with that stack up, but we're going to have a bump yet again. Kyle Terzak, what a save after the tap from Jace Hale. A masterclass move of an extremely talented driver. Now the 9 of Aiden Millette going to send it on the inside of Jace Hale. Inside is dominant, and you can see it just like that.
Still trying to resolve that issue here with the sound. I will try to get to the bottom of that in just a moment. But right now, as it sits, 7 laps in, Jake Grout holding the lead, up 5 from the invert and going for the top spot with Kyle Terzak trying to gain the points here. You have Christian Peterson, your points leader, back in 4th, and he's got a hornet's nest right behind him, contact into 1.
Last couple of races for some of these drivers. Aiden Millette, he led a lot at IRP in his debut in the Misfit Touring Series, but he really fizzled out later on in the going, was not able to save enough. Kyle Terzak is our maiden man, the best at saving tires, and so with him sitting in 2nd already, I would be a little concerned if I'm the rest of the field. What does Jake Grout do? This is the first time he started inside the top 10 in the past 3 races. He just has not had a great go of it in this middle portion of the season. He's been able to get consistent top 5 finishes, though, but it hasn't been enough to get in front of some of these other drivers like Christian Peterson and like Kyle Terzak.
Watching William Hale work on the back bumper of the 9 car of Jace Hale, and you know that kind of family love that's about to happen. Someone's going to get moved out of the way, riding the bumper into turn 1, all over the back end of the 9 car. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between them as we'll go into the next corner. Side by side, he has the advantage off the corner. They make contact.
There you go, William Hale making the move, and wow, big shot from Greggy Long, and there's a spin up front. It's the 9 of Aiden Millette, and we wanted to make a mention of it. Kyle Turzak did make the move and get to the inside of Jake Grout and take away the lead while we were watching that battle among the Hale brothers. And Aiden Millette will spin from 4th position.
Take a quick break here while I try to sort out whatever issue I'm having with my audio. But you are watching the Misfit Tour Series, season number 3 at the Coliseum. Back with more in just a moment.
JS Racing, we're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
JS Racing, we're in the game.
We're back, and we are stopped as quick as that. Cars stopped at the bottom of turn 2. So we're just, it's one of those points sometimes when we get, we had a caution, then we had a couple green flag laps, Bradley, and then we're back to caution. And I wonder if it's that point of the race, even this early, where we might start to see a couple cautions one after another. I know that Kyle Adams was very strict in the drivers' meeting about drivers and how they're going to race tonight. Let's take a look at what caused this incident. Comes from the more towards the rear of the field down here, exit of turn 2. That's really been the problem area. Looks like just a stack up on the inside. Brandon Elvis slowed down. I mean, you get tight into these corners because the corners are so tight themselves, Bradley, that it's almost inevitable. You have got to leave room knowing that this driver in front of you is going to be hard on the brakes. It's easy to push, but again, you've got to know that these drivers, I mean, you are rolling so slow through these corners. Next time we go green, I'm going to try to see the speed because I know it's at least under 40 miles an hour.
So the only solution I have right now is to leave the session and come back into it. So I'm going to try to do that and see if that fixes my issue with the audio. I've completely lost it. So we'll see if that fixes things. If not, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what else.
Well, as long as we're live, I'll give us the radio edit while you try to get things fixed on your end. So we are 23 laps completed. Caution laps are counting at this time. It is Kyle Turzak in the lead. Jake Grout on the outside. Pace car pulling off this time. Coming back to the green flag, it's William Hale and Christian Peterson, row number 2. Let's go back green in the air. Kyle Turzak, great shot down into 1. Jake Grout finds himself in line, looks for a crossover. Moves out of turn 2 is Kyle Turzak, but they both get tangled up and stay straight. So it's Turzak remaining with the lead. William Hale trying to move through for him for 3rd. Here we go, this little replay of the action that just occurred right behind them. 25 laps completed, and we are back live, back in the session.
We have
Kyle
audio.
Turzak in his number 15, and with audio. Take a bow for yourself, Bradley Cooper. Excellent determining of it. There we go, we got a car around Greggy Long. He will spin out of turn 2, but he is in the inside, but the caution will still come out. It was a solo spin for him, and No other incident, no other cars involved, but it was enough. He was enough on the track to bring out the caution.
Well, I mean, enough on the track. I mean, a car turned sideways at this place. It's probably 30% of the race line is just gone.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's
well,
tough to-
surprisingly, he pulled off. I mean, he spun off right in that area where the pit exit is. So I wondered if with the lines of how this was, as we take a look back on the instant replay, what happened to the 38 of Greg Long inside here, inside of Brandon Elvis. And yeah, it looks like just a little bit too much rear brake. Great evasion there by the 11. That was a great job, and that was Landon Atkins that made the avoidance of that incident. Took a look back from his point of view, and it might have been a little contact between Brandon Elvis and the 38 that got him just a little sideways. Little contact there between Millette and Sylvia. Sylvia is not afraid to put the bumper to somebody. You know, he's a season 1 champion, Bradley.
Well, speaking of champions, I mean, you got a list of names here, especially in this top 5 of drivers that have won, been part of podiums this season. Kyle Terzak is no stranger to leading these races, takes the lead away from Jake Grout. And so for Grout now, with the invert putting you up front, we've had caution after caution, and it just happened that, you know, Terzak got ahead of him at the exact moment that yellow flew, and he now is not the command car. It's going to be a little more difficult.
Well, and speaking of Terzak, he's won 3 in a row, 4 times now this season. He's starting to almost look invincible, and I imagine some fans might be thinking about, but let's not forget, he's still a young guy. He is still a young driver. He is still a learning driver. Now, at every stage of your career, you're always learning, but younger, it comes with less wisdom, it comes with less experience. He's gaining that experience, but as you can see, there are still times that even he, a driver of his caliber, makes mistakes. And there we go. There's another one. To the inside, Jake Grout, just a mistake, just a slip up that Jake Grout needed to look to the inside. And the inside, you can't defend on the outside. Not here at the LA Coliseum. Jake Grout will lead lap 31 on to lap 32. And there we go. An experienced Grout takes back the lead handily from the young teammate, a young aggressor of Terzak.
It's very difficult to pass on the outside, as you can see, the inside of the preferred line. It's such slow speeds here, Scott, that it's difficult to even get any momentum going on the entry of these corners. You almost have to pinch a guy off as you see the 71 working on, I believe that's Greggy Long, and actually a little bit messed up here, so.
That's Greggy Long and Matthew Knott fighting back for the 13th position. Matthew Knott will handily take that position, and Greggy Long will file out in front of him. Now it's Millette that is fighting with Christian Peterson. Peterson has fallen from the 2nd row, now back to 6th place. He's able to fall in line. Now Terzak gives the bumper to Millette, as well as Kyle Terzak gave the bumper to Jake Grout. Battled back for the lead. Terzak takes it back, but leaves the lane open. Little bit of right rear contact. Grout, will he try to send the crossover? Yes, he will. Can he carry the momentum? Not going to be enough. Terzak takes back the lead once again.
I'm just happy to see some green flag racing as the 49 of Grout makes his own mistake. Gets into the outside wall there off of 2. Really kicking the right rear of this thing out.
Oh.
Max power in the background. Sylvia,
he is absolutely gunning it, and look at that. Michael Wiseman, he's trying to capitalize as well. He's inside. Landon Atkins, blue number 11 on the outside. Wiseman will take the 8th position away from Atkins. Atkins, now he's got another driver on the inside. This is how it happens. You get stuck, and he's not going to be stuck for too long because caution will be out once more. Looks like Christopher Shepard. Yep.
Yeah. Christopher Shepard trying to get it going back and almost tag the leaders.
Hey, that sadly in a league race, that has happened to me twice, being taken out of the lead under caution. It is not a good feeling. I can promise you that, Bradley.
There's a contact, got into the back of the 9 of Jace Hale. 38 nowhere to go. Greg Long just in the back of the 19, and Christopher Shepard. Here's the aftermath. Here's the leaders.
Yeah, if you were Kyle Terzak there, you had no idea that purple and orange number 19 was right around the corner in the center of 1 and 2. I mean, it's crazy how tight these corners are. And I don't know how much the rumble strips are really affecting them. I think that's actually what's making drivers loose out of the corner. Yes, this is a slicker surface. The sun is on the racetrack right now. Look, let's see, track's at 81 degrees. So, I mean, it could be hotter, but I think those rumble strips are what's causing drivers to get loose.
Yeah, you get down on the bottom of this track and you can see it's kind of grooved down there. It's to let these drivers know, hey, you're kind of running on the inside line, but at the same time, I think if it was smooth pavement, it would help these guys tremendously as you watch the 19 come back around for his wave around. Kyle Terzak will be the command car again. But had that went green, I think Terzak had kind of gotten the best of Jake Grout. Grout was starting to make mistakes, and I don't foresee on this restart Jake Grout having anything for the 15.
I think that Terzak, obviously, he wants to get clear out of turn 2, so he's pushing a little hard, but I do think he is the more consistent driver over a green flag run. So let's see how it plays out once again this time. It's Terzak back on the inside, and he gets an absolute monstrous restart. 49 not even going to be able to touch him, so Terzak's going to hold it for himself. William Hale inside of Brandon Elvis right now. Aiden Millette inside looking for that. Oh, he touches the corner panel. They're going to make contact. Brandon Elvis around off the nose of the 9 of Millette.
Mystery night. With no mystery who got turned right there. The 54, I think, coming off the wall. And Elvis, I don't know if he knew he wasn't clear, but he came down across the nose of that car behind him. And that is the mystery. It was, who was to the inside? I think it was the 9.
It was 9 of Aiden Millette. Yeah, just a little move. Brandon Elvis trying to, not get away from the wall a little bit. I don't know if he thought he was clear because he only moved down just a bit. Makes me think he was just trying to get off the wall a little bit, not try to clear himself down. But still, Aiden Millette, obviously, these corners are so tight and the straightaways are so long that you want to use up every inch of pavement as possible to carry momentum out of the corner and down the straightaways. And so Millette was obviously going to race Elvis close off the corner. And so just a tiny move left for Brandon Elvis as Millette was there in his front bumper, and around he goes. I don't think there was any significant contact with the inside wall. Now, of course, his nose is already dented in from the incident on lap 1. But Brandon Elvis, he had that incident on lap 1 and worked himself back into the top 5. Well, he's going to have to try it again.
We need some green flag racing for this to happen, though. And,
Yep.
For every time we reset this field, it's kind of like you're starting the race over again. You got to get that momentum going, kind of learn the racetrack. And that's difficult to do when you're in a restart scenario every single time. You can't get comfortable. You can't get into a rhythm. It's very difficult for, unless you're the leader, to really run your own pace.
Yeah. By the way, again, reminder that this is the second race of the Triple Crown Showdown. Currently, the leader is Kyle Terzak, Jake Grout, Christian Peterson, Brandon Atkinson, as well as John Leday. That is the top 5. Then it is Christopher Shepard, Jace Hale, Ethan Wolf, Thomas Dean, and Larson Parker. Those are the straight-up top 10 results from Oxford Speedway, Oxford Plains on race 3. So they're going to jumble up tonight, but Terzak this way looks to be handily still in the lead, and he's going to be in the lead of this race off of 2, but it is a stack up in turns 1. Once again, caution is out. It is the 82 of Matthew Knott. So another incident down in turns 1 and 2. It's just drivers not anticipating how slowed down they're going to get. I mean, at this point, you got to know that you're going to be woeing on the brakes heavily. Let's see what caused this incident. Yep, just looked like a little bit of a brake stab there from the 82. Yeah. So not exactly what I thought before we saw the replay. So excuse me, let me hold my tongue next time. But it was a little bit of a brake pump by the 82 and slowed him down significantly. And there was Brandon Elvis, who was just involved in the incident before. Had plenty of room.
Yeah, I think he thought the 9 was slowing down more than he did.
Well, and Bradley, maybe that's to your point of that these drivers have not had enough green flag laps to really determine when they need to be on the brakes, especially even when they're close, because we really haven't seen this field stretch out even in the couple green flag runs that we've had. So maybe that's just, I mean, I can't imagine, I would bet you out of this 15-car field that one of them has ever run this track with lane models. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt to these drivers.
I've only ever done one broadcast at this racetrack, and that was
I
in
bought
2003.
I bought it tonight. 2003. This track didn't exist.
2023.
I would say iRacing didn't exist. How you doing that, Bradley?
Yeah. Time travel.
What were you, 12 years old?
I'm not going to disclose that information.
Well, I can tell you, depending on what time in 2003, I was I was 0 no matter what. It depends on if I was months old or negative months old.
Race control giving single file restarts for this one.
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised about that. Just got to try to clean this up and get more green flag action in the books. So that challenge that Jake Grout had been giving to Kyle Terzak is no longer available for this single file restart. Maybe if we can get some green flag runs, we will have double file back. The first car's double file is Rally Music and Landon Atkins. Rally Music, it's the first time we've really talked about him today, and that bright blue number 47, currently running in 7th position. Look at this, Reggie Long making a nice run to the inside, trying to keep Landon Atkins on the outside.
Man, Landon Atkins rather.
Oh!
Heavy contact there off of Pugh. It put him in the wall. It's one way to complete the pass, but I was just about to say, the 11's been stuck on the outside repeatedly here. It's just overshooting the entry and then getting someone to your inside on the exit.
He started 4th after the invert, but it really seems like he hasn't been able to be in 4th since the early portion of the race. He has been stuck on the outside a lot. I think him and Christian Peterson have been two of the candidates that have been chosen to be stuck on the outside every time we flashed our eyes their way here on the broadcast this evening. But goodness, Kyle Terzak is trying to run away with it in this short green flag run that we've had. 7/10 of a second currently in front of the 49. And as you can see there with the grays of the wall, he's using up every inch of the LA Coliseum he can.
Bouncing it off of the chip here on the entry.
Oh, we got a
corner.
spinner.
In the background, it's the 11.
Didn't mean to cut you off there, Bradley. I was watching along with him, just powering at it too. I don't think we've had one incident in turn 3 and 4. They've all been in 1 and 2. It has been the place of accident. And yeah, just hard on the power out of turn 2 for Landon Atkins. He tried to save it. He had the wheel cranked all the way to the right, but it just wasn't enough. And he's still trying to get straightened up.
Yeah. I was gonna say, he's still trying to get that car back the right direction.
Hey, it's really tight. It's tight here between the margins, between the walls.
Yes. Yeah, I have taken a couple practice laps at this place, and I don't envy these guys. This is a tough track, very tough track. It's deceitful.
I would love to race here just for fun. It does seem fun with these tight corners. There's a lot of racecraft that comes into this because, I mean, it is a flat oval. And I love flat ovals for the first part, but with having to be so hard on the brakes, I mean, it comes in a tire saving. If we had green flag runs, really would come in because you'd be so hard on that right front and then on that right rear trying to gas up off the corner. So I don't know if we'll see that come into play tonight. We just crossed over halfway, 64 laps of 125 completed, and our longest green flag run, I think, is right at or around 10 laps. So I really don't think tires might come into play too heavily tonight. Of course, it's only in iRacing, it's only a 1-year-old surface, so not much grain for that. Only sheer force would grain off your tires.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how you're going to drive it, your approach, and I think with the brake bias, that's probably going to cause some of these guys to wear off the right front more than others. But from what I'm seeing right now in the setups, these guys are running a lot of rear brake. I'm seeing a lot of lockups and just going around the outside. So when you loop it like that, that tells me you got a lot of rear brake, especially if you lock it up.
Yeah, well, and I can't say I'm too surprised at that because, I mean, with the shortness of these corners, if you're starting to get tight, that is a huge problem because you're not in the corner long, and you got to rotate the center. I mean, it is a long rotation. So if you're getting tight, that will slow you down significantly. So drivers pumping rear brake into it to try to loosen themselves up on entry and through the center. Single file restarts still remain. Green flag back in the air. 66 laps complete now.
Another single file restart with Jake Grout trying to chase Kyle Turzak for that lead. William Hill into the top 3. Then you have Christian Peterson, your points leader, coming into tonight. Jake Sylvia in 5th. And the first side-by-side starts from the 6th position with Riley Music, Michael Wiseman.
Oh, Wiseman gonna make a little left front to right rear contact there between him and Music. Wiseman has been sending it in, and there we go. Greggy Long looking, he's gonna make some contact with the inside wall. He's able to save it. I want to say that was Thomas Dean as well with him. That was right there. Actually, excuse me, that was Brandon Elvis that was right along with him. But Landon Atkins, look at that right front damage.
Yeah, Atkins back out on the racetrack and actually has a meatball flag. Just trying to salvage the day. Trying to stay out here and not go any more laps down. 1 lap down for the 11th.
Yeah, it really in the way of these lead lap cars, and a lot of these cars that are fighting around them right now, all of them have damage in some form or fashion. Thomas Dean, one of the only drivers not to have that. And look at this. Looking from the rear of Kyle Turzak at this point. It's still the 49 Christmas scheme for Jake Grout. Bradley, do you want to be the one to tell or me that I think the Christmas season has officially come to a close?
I think we should tell Logan Threlkeld. He goes by the name Santa.
We should, and that's year round. But yeah. I think that's beating a dead horse at this point if we try. So looks like, yeah, and it's the new year. Jake Grout closing in on Turzak at this point, running a bit of a different line. This time runs deeper than he normally has. And whoa, big time loose off of 2. Uses the wall to catch himself, but that is not going to help his advance on the 15. And loose again. Those tires are hot and angry.
Yeah, and if tires are like that at 3/4 of the race, imagine what they're going to be like here in the next 15, 20 laps. He's already struggling, and Turzak getting a wide angle. You can see that exit a lot higher up, getting the run down the straightaways. You can see Grout is a lot lower in the corner, gets a little advantage on the entry, but then doesn't have that wide off that Turzak's able to pull. That's where he's losing a little bit of ground and actually puts William Hale on the back bumper, so he's in defense mode now.
You know, you would think that a driver would be driving these 2 corners exactly the same because they look exactly similar, but Turzak is still trying different stuff. Sometimes he's entering a little wider and cutting down to try to carry more momentum. Now he enters a little wider that time, a little tighter that time, as much as rotating the apex. But Turzak's still trying different things to see if there's anything faster than he's already doing. That tells you a lot about him. He's in the lead and he's still searching.
Well, they're learning the track. I touched on that at the beginning of the broadcast. We'll have a lot of experience here, trying to hunt for that line, and every now and then he hits it, and he's like, I want more of that. So he's still hunting for it. What did I do that last time we went into turns 1 and 2? Well, I forgot, because now here comes 3 and 4.
You can already see front brake rotors glowing on a lot of these cars, and caution right in front of the leaders is Thomas Dean.
Right in front
that
of
was
the leaders.
A close one. Thomas Dean was about to go a lap down, and I think he might have actually gone a lap down because the caution had not quite come out. And oh yeah, just there we go, rear brake, and spins it, loops it right in front of
oh my everyone.
Goodness. Great avoidance from William Hale there. Quick decision, go to the outside and able to avoid.
Locks it up.
Oh yeah,
180.
Just a little too much brake.
The whole thing.
Ah!
Yeah, never a good feeling.
No, definitely not, especially here. I mean, you are blind. You are absolutely blind as to what is around the corner. And there was a broadsided 71 for the leaders of this field. Luckily, no contact from anyone else. 84 laps complete. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I think at this point, there's not enough time for things to change because that was our longest green flag run of the night. That was 20 laps. And from my analysis, I mean, we did not see much shuffling of position after the restart. We saw William Hale and Christian Peterson closing in on Jake Grout after he made a couple slides, couple mistakes, but either they hadn't yet decided to try to make the pass or they didn't feel they were close enough yet, but no deep lunges for any of these top 5.
I'm going to try trivia with you, Scott.
Let's
See if
go.
you know the answer to this question. What team plays at this stadium?
I am going to say USC.
There you go.
Yes! I don't remember where I've heard that, but I did hear that somewhere. It might have been in the talk. I know where it was, actually. I think it was when people were talking about the Rose Bowl and the, what is it? I guess it's the Rose Stadium. I don't even know what the official name of it is, but that's where UCLA plays. And they're thinking about building a stadium, and so it might be at some point that the Rose Bowl is without a home team. I think in that conversation, though, that I heard about the LA Coliseum being the home of USC, or it could have been from the excellent words of Mike Joy.
We're back to double file. Can you believe it?
I can believe it, and I am excited. Just a couple. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if I can believe it. I'm happy to see it, though. I could be taking back those words here in a couple moments, but this is going to give drivers more opportunities to pass because while, yes, you can make the late dive, we just did not see much attempts on that last green flag run. So this gives a great opportunity for Jake Grout. Are his tires cool enough at this point? Doesn't matter. He does not get a great jump. It might have been because those tires were hot. He spins them. William Hale will now look to the inside. He looks to take second. He will take second, this time into 3. Terzak maintains the lead.
It's the first time that we've seen William Hale up into the second position. Does he have anything for the 15 of Terzak? Based off of the speed we saw earlier, Grout is starting to struggle, and he is hemorrhaging spots. Cars all over the back end. That was Jake Sylvia looking inside, still trying to get around Riley Music. Oh,
that's
car
Christian
in the wall.
Peterson. Oh, car in the wall. That was Michael Wiseman in the 74. And it was Jake Sylvia and Christian Peterson fighting for that 5th spot. And for when the caution came out, it will be awarded to Jake Sylvia. Excuse me, that was the 4th position. And a bit of a looper for the 54 of Brandon Elvis. Exiting turn 2. Again, well, actually now Thomas Dean was the first incident in 3 and 4, but still, the turns 1 and 2 is the hot spot. And a little too hot into the corner for the 38 of Greggy Long.
And I think the 54 of Elvis got put into that situation. The 9 had made a mistake off the corner. 54 had contact with him.
Ooh, yeah. Just a little late decision, it was a little hairy off of turn 4 leading into 1. So just a little incident. And, yep, we were double file and we were quickly back under caution. So I don't know if that was in relation, but we'll see what race control will deem of this.
Yeah.
If we'll go back to double file, if we'll go back to single. I think Christian Peterson would love to go back to single because he continues to be stuck and hung out in that outside groove.
I think part of this too is they know that it's tough to pass here. Single file kind of creates a situation where Terzak can run away with it. So I don't know if there's discussion on the racetrack. Maybe these drivers begging, hey, we need to restart double file just to have a chance, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you'd think as well, I really would have thought, especially what we saw in the opening portion, that we would see a lot of drivers making passes. But, I mean, once these drivers got single file and into a rhythm, it really, I guess it seemed like, I guess the driver in front of you could get on the gas so much earlier than you, even when you're close, that you just weren't close enough to make a send down into the next corner, at least not without making contact with them. So maybe if drivers not feeling confident, then they can maybe make the move without making contact or getting into them. Because, again, if you cause an incident, you're going to the back. You're getting an EOL. So would you sacrifice the top 5 for one more position and maybe accidentally get into them, or do you decide to just kind of ride?
I think at this point, I'm along for the ride. Whatever happens around me, that's you're at the mercy of the guy behind you hitting the brakes, and that's
true.
Unfortunate.
It is. It is absolutely unfortunate. Definitely a little scary. You'd maybe hope that drivers around you are going to be smart, or that they're not going to make a mistake, because sometimes it's not about being smart or being dumb. It's just about honest mistakes. And you'll see Aiden Millette go around. He'll get a lap back, and he'll be back on the lead lap. Only car a lap down now is Thomas Dean in the 71. And he went down a lap earlier when he was spun around, and the caution just didn't come out in his favor. We will stay double file for this restart once again. It is now William Hale on the outside, Jake Grout, and Jake Sylvia now. It's the Jakes on row number 2, down into 1. Let's see how it fares for the 15. He'll clear in front of the 62, but will William Hale look inside? He thinks about it, doesn't take the opportunity. Now it is Grout on the inside of Sylvia. They make contact heavy with the wall. Woo-hoo-hoo! They both survive. Peterson now gets back to the inside of Sylvia. Battle for 4th is on, as well as the battle for 6th between Wiseman and Music.
Really physical off the corner. The 118 is getting hit in every panel. You can see the paint worn off the right side. He's trying to stay to the outside of Peterson for this position. It is so tough to get the car going off the corner. He's going to use the wall to straighten it out. They're going to go and make contact into 1 again.
Needs to make sure that Wiseman doesn't like a peek to the inside. And there he goes. Crossover for the 118. He's going to take a tap, and it's going to be a checkup. Domino effect. 47 into the 74. And it is, wow, more contact late behind them. Thomas Dean involved, as well as Greggy Long.
That was a product of the aftermath, but you saw how the 118 had, I mean, he gave no room. He gave 0 room here off the corner. We'll back this up even more. He wanted to hang to the outside of Peterson as much as possible, and the 74 of Wiseman just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. When these two make contact, there's a checkup, there's a dive into the corner. The 118 thought he had it, had to get on the brakes harder than anticipated. 74 tried to go to the line, and there it was.
Yeah, I just think that was a 74 trying to cut back to the inside. He was going to have a great run on the inside of the 118 of Jake Sylvia, and as well close to them was the 47 of Bradley Music. So it was just 3 cars really close together fighting it out. This is what happens later. It's a 71 to the back of the 82. And then I think it looked like Landon Atkins that was up under Thomas Dean there. Well, actually, I mean, Thomas Dean kind of got put on the hood. Actually, excuse me, that was the 9 of Aiden Millette. But Landon Atkins did get a little front nose contact to put the 71 back on all fours. I really thought we were going to have it there, Bradley. I really did. And that was a fun battle real quickly between Peterson and Sylvia. And I got to wonder what the mindset is for Jake Sylvia at this point, because this is his first race in Season 3, and he's a champion of Season 1, became an admin and one of the leaders here in the Misfit Racing League's community. And so he's been doing a lot of work on the back end side. So he hasn't been racing full-time since Season 1. He made, about a half the starts in Season 2, but this is his first time making a start in Season 3. Man. And there's a bit to live up to for him. I mean, he is the first champion of the Misfit Touring Series, so there's definitely a name to live up to.
There's also the experience of this racetrack. If this is the first one you come back to, I'm sure it's frustrating, because this place is kind of like throwing shoes in the dryer.
It is like shoes in the dryer. It is unforgiving, and many names that we could call this. It is the can opener, it is the can tosser, and it is the late model tosser. It's a mind boggler for all these drivers out here, but it seems like Terzak has figured it out so far. He's only got 20 laps more to go until he takes a checkered flag, another one for himself, but that's a long ways away.
We're seeing side by side again with Sylvia moving up to the standard. Right front damage there for the 118 as he almost slides into the 71 of Peterson. He's going to stay to the inside, works again.
Left front lockup for Sylvia, but Peterson hanging tough on the outside groove. He's doing well. He would love to not lose the top 5, but Bradley Music is closing in quickly, and he would love to follow the 118 of Sylvia right on through. It's a half a second gap for Kyle Terzak at the moment, so nothing going on for the lead. This is your first side-by-side battle, and it is for 5th, and there's now 3 cars involved in it.
Yes, all 3 of these cars side by side. The nose in there for Music. 118 cannot get clear. I am impressed by Christian Peterson. He's been hanging it out there on the outside. He'll get the run going into 3. Can he get the same run off of 4?
Christian Peterson is an extremely talented driver. There's a reason that he is our Season 2 champion. And wow, big send there for Brandon Elvis. Inside rally music, he uses him up. But music, look at this. Late send for him on the inside of the 54. And he gets it back to the inside. Pass is, however, not completed yet. It is, though, for Sylvia. He solidifies fourth. Christian Peterson into second. Elvis makes more contact with the 47. Look at this. Peterson now trying to switch it back over. Not enough momentum. Great battles here between fourth and seventh.
Elvis there just kind of locked it up as well. And that allowed music back on the advantage. It looked like the 54 was going to clear him there coming off a 2. But just a slight little miscalculation is going to be into the wall. And the 54 is going to lose a spot. Will the 9 of Jace Hale have an opportunity? He will not.
Great instinct there from the 9 of Jace Hale not to lift up the rears of the 54 and get him messed up out of turn number 2. So it was a calculated move from the number 9. Checking back in with your leader of Kyle Terzak, William Hale, staying with him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This time around, it'll be 8 laps to go for for Kyle Terzak. Hale is just 0.6 of a second back. Then it's Jake Grout, 1.5 seconds back from Terzak. Then it's 2.1 seconds back to fourth place of the 118 of Jake Sylvia. So these three really the only ones in the fight as of this moment if we stay green. What can William Hale do to defeat Terzak? Can he do anything?
I don't know what the recipe, what the right ingredients are at this racetrack, but a lot of brake and getting back to the throttle as soon as possible is what it appears to be. And it's working right now. Hale last time by about a 10th faster than Terzak. This time by, Terzak trades back and gets an advantage, a 13.509.
Yeah, Terzak just slowly pulling away. I mean, he is a couple hundredths faster than William Hale, and just slowly moving away from them. It's 4 laps to go this time. Lap car of Thomas Dean in front of them. Let's see if he'll slide up to the upper groove, move out of the way. Yes, he will, and wow, quite close there. That's going to slow up William Hale a ton.
Yeah, that was just meeting him at the wrong part of the racetrack, as we have 3 laps to go, coming up on 2 left here for Kyle Terzak with the lead.
2 remaining for the number 15. I say it all the time, 16 years old. This is a young kid, and he is extremely talented and continues to show it. White flag for him into turns 1 and 2 this time. He continues to show us a masterclass each and every race. He's won 3 in a row. He's going to win 4 in a row. You can't kick him off the seat. It's another win for Kyle Terzak. He is a winner at the LA Coliseum in the Misfit Touring Series Season 3. Give him 5.
And it's that triple crown that we were talking about there, and the points. What's at stake here? That's how you do it.
That is back to that is 4 wins in a row. He is the only winner of the triple crown, and I said give him 5. Excuse me, give him 6. Wow. Not much more you can say about Kyle Terzak. I mean, every week, I think it might be different. And no matter where we go, he figures out how to wow us yet again. And it's not that he doesn't have great competition, but I don't want to glaze him, but he is just talented. He really is. If he continues to get opportunities in real life, this guy could be going somewhere. We'll get you back here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will do interviews, and we will get you the full results.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Welcome back to the LA Coliseum with the Mystery Night complete, the second of 3 races of the Triple Crown Showdown complete, and they have been capped off, past 2 of them, by that elusive number 15 of Kyle Turzak, who everybody else is trying to figure out what does he have that we have not figured out just yet. William Hale, he was close to it in that number 62. He will come home in second place. Jay Grout, it's another podium for him. Still yet to win this season, but he has been very consistent. That's why he's in the top 3 in the championship. Jake Sylvia in his Season 3 debut, Season 1 champion, he finishes 4th in the top 5. Christian Peterson finishes in 5th, your current championship leader. And it's Riley Music, Brandon Elvis, 6th and 7th. 8th and 9th, Jace Hale and Christopher Shepard. Good recovery from the 19. And it was Greggy Long in the 38, rounding out the top 10.
On the spot, going to go to Michael Wiseman. You have Matthew Knott in 12. Thomas Dean going to finish out here in 13th. Tough break here for Landon Atkins. Falls all the way back to 14th, 7 laps down. And it's Aiden Millett who rounds out your 15-car field. Early exit there from Millett.
Yeah, it was a great race for him at IRP, a good show of talent. He's raced with me some at South Boston Speedway this year, as well as Langley. And he's a young up-and-coming driver as well, so just a few kinks to work out. But LA Coliseum was tough, and I want to talk about, with your winner of Kyle Turzak, how tough this racetrack was. And for him, it didn't look tough at all. But Kyle, what was it like to race on this track? Because long straightaways and extremely tight corners on this quarter mile.
It was really difficult. Honestly, I came in here thinking it was going to be like Bowman Gray, and I was kind of right. It was just, really not really bump the pass, but it was just kind of really hard to pass. People would get you entry, then you would get them exit. It was just trade off here, and just had a kind of a quiet race in my opinion. Just we had that big wreck on the first lap that already automatically got me second, and me and Grout battled there for a little bit, but yeah, it was, like I said, a kind of quiet race for my POV, but I knew that Hale and, Grout were racing, and I know Hale basically started, I think he started 10th or so, so there was definitely some passing, but, it was definitely a difficult track to pass at, just to, set up your passes and whatnot.
Well, and you said it was a mainly quiet race for you early on. It was there was some whispers there. Jake Grout was giving you a bit of a hard time. I was talking about that. It looked very easy to get loose here. Maybe partly because of the rumble strips, but also just getting on the gas and getting it all the way out to the wall. And what was your thought about that? Because I think the only slip ups we saw for you were out of turn 2, trying to hold on to the lead into 3.
Yeah, honestly, it was just if you put too much wheel on it, that causes the car when you get on the gas, just too much wheel on it and it gets loose. So I feel like that was the only difficulty tonight. I feel like that we had a pretty good turning number 15 tonight, but you just turn so much here, even with the 8-1, it just takes a lot of wheel input, and I feel like that Grout was just talking about how hard that was for him. When he put too much wheel on it, that would be his his main calls are getting loose. But I feel like I did that. I managed that pretty well. I feel like I kept my drive off. Kept my tires cool. And once you can get your tires cool and you could get the drive off, I feel like it was pretty good.
Well, this is win number 6 for you. If you go back and watch my call, I call it 4 in a row, but I tell you give him 5 and had to quickly correct myself and say it's number 6. So many different racetracks that we've been to here this season, and only 2 of them you haven't won. What is it about you when in your practicing or in your mindset or just in your driving? How are you able to adapt to all these different styles of racetracks?
A lot of laps. I know that once this new car came out for late models, I knew that this is going to be where the short track competitiveness is at. So once I knew this car was coming out, and I kind of prepped myself to try to learn this car as much as I can, and did that pretty well with that Zeems sub shop, but they had some issues and came over here and definitely started to learn a lot and started to get better every day. Ryan Coon, such an amazing coach, and he just coached me through how to run this car, and I picked it up pretty well. And just running all these laps around in this car is pretty key in my opinion, because once you get out of the seat for a second, it takes you a while to come back in.
Well, it definitely does. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Adams for putting this on. You guys for the broadcast, good as always. Arkham Sub Shop for everything to do with me. William Hale for the setup tonight. We didn't have Ryan. He was not home, so me and Hale went to work on the race, and I did the Q setup. So huge shout out to Hale, all my teammates tonight. Are, I was gonna say so. Corey Buddy Raps, Hot Shot Photography, and everybody who's watching back at home.
Well, Kyle, it is a 6th win for you. Congratulations, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Trying to go for 6 and now 7.
There we go. Okay. And of course, he just had to do it, and he will exit stage right. Bradley, I am surprised. I can't say I'm surprised we didn't get that from young guy.
I mean, confidence is key sometimes, and
It definitely is. He has it.
You're talking about the experience and kind of the wisdom, but sometimes being naive to the situation can be the best medicine. Sometimes, just not knowing that you could lose next week is the best way.
It is very true. You just never know what's going to come next, and you never know what's going to come on the racetrack or out of the other drivers' mouths. It's always entertaining for us up here in the booth. Well, let's talk to second place. Let us talk to William Hale. He is with Bradley Cooper.
William Hale, you got a copy?
Yeah, right here.
Well, you got by Jake Grout there on one of those restarts. We went back to double file, and I think that kind of helped your situation a little bit because it was a struggle. When we were restarting single file, caution after caution there, especially in the first half of the race, you never had an opportunity. You had the speed, but it seemed like you never had the chance. And once we got that final or second to last restart, you got around that 49 car and kept pace with the leader.
I didn't want to get around him, just to be honest. I mean, he was just kind of riding around and trying to get to the end. We had a good enough car to run, kind of where we were running and run top 2 definitely. I felt like between Terzak and I, it was going to be whoever was out front at the end, and he kind of had the front from the beginning, so just kind of sat there and waited, and I didn't feel like. I knew there was going to be more caution, so I really didn't feel like pushing to get around Grout was the move. I really, and if there was a chance to go back double file, I didn't want to be second. Not that it really mattered right there at the end. I don't think, but yeah, no, it wasn't so much a struggle as it's kind of the RKM setup shop car was really good. Could have just put it really wherever I wanted to. So, just really sit there and bided my time all day, and when we got back out, kind of just decided to go play with Terzak for a minute and see how long we could run away from the field, basically.
Well, we talked about it in the pre-race. How much time did you have personally? We know that this is Mystery Night. It was announced very quickly within the week. And so for a lot of guys, maybe not experienced here at this racetrack, is this your first time coming out here to the Coliseum?
No, we ran trucks here, getting ready for Road to Pro, trying like different Road to Pro packages last year. It's probably the first time I've been here, and we kind of just built something kind of similar to what we ran there, and It kind of just worked and kind of went from there. And I don't just come run this racetrack. I wish we would. It needs to be a staple event for the touring series. Now that was actually really fun. I had a blast driving this racetrack in this car. I haven't tried this car track before, and it needs to happen more often. It was actually really fun to drive. I felt like there were some good passing lanes. If you set them up right, you could actually set guys up. It's not as bad as people made it out to be. At least on my end, I think people should. I think there's a lot of things people don't try on iRacing because they're like, oh, that'll be bad or that'll wreck or it's too big or something like that. Man, there's a lot of fun car track combos out there right now. And with the state of iRacing short track, we got to try new things with the different short track cars until they can figure out how to revamp these short tracks and make them great like they used to be. So, but no, we need to be open and try new things like this. So I appreciate Kyle and MRL putting this race on for mystery night and putting it on the wheel. It was a really good time, and I think it should be on the schedule for real now. Like I said, there was a lot of, if guys would calm down and race, there's a lot of ways to set guys up. There's a lot of race ability in this racetrack. I mean, we had a blast. I mean, it's easy to say when you got a good race car, right? But I think for us, it was a blast. So, so I think it should be on the schedule. And we just got to make short track racing great again.
So in the top 5, you come home with a podium finish, second place here, William Hale. We appreciate you coming up here and talking to us. Anybody else that come to mind for that shout out?
No, I want to thank you guys for putting in the work every week for us. I know we kind of ask you guys to be here, but thanks for showing up and doing the best job you can every week, like always. And we got to thank the Stepdaddy's Bar and Grill. Got to thank my boy Corey Bodie. Make some awesome raps, man. Y'all should check him out. He's got a new Discord channel. Trying to build that community. It's called Corey Bodie Raps. Y'all should reach out to him. We got a couple cool things in the works this week coming up on my end. So if you guys want to, anybody at home want to check out the social pages coming up this week, there's going to be a lot of cool announcements for us on my end. And thank you to Ryan and the Arcane Setup Shop guys. As always, we continue to rebuild and make it better every week. And that's what I'm here for. So thank you guys.
William Hale, second place, and we'll see you next week at Southern National. Well, Scott. I got a question.
Yes. What's your question?
If they do make this a staple racetrack, do you think it would be spoken, through the top half of the field? I think the other half of the field would feel a little bit differently about what William Hale just said, like making this racetrack part of the schedule. I mean, there's some guys out here that probably hated this place after tonight.
Oh, definitely. It's a high possibility. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously up to the drivers, and I think the main people that race in the touring series. I think it could be a good racetrack. I don't know. I just think it requires a lot of patience, especially on restarts. And that's something that obviously can be difficult because it seemed like once we got spread out and green flag, running the green flag, that you could not pass. And I also tossed that question right to Jake Grout.
Yeah, we need to come here every week.
There we go. Okay. Even the man who finished third thought it was great. So, Jake, I know it's another third place finish for you, and I know you're hungering for a win, but that is continuing your streak and keeping your streak alive of top 5s in every single race this season. You are the only driver to do that, and I can't say it with 100% certainty, but if you finish the season that way, which who knows, something could happen, you'd probably be the first driver to ever do that. But let's talk about this race this evening, where you get finished in third place. You were given Terzak the business early on, trying to get to his inside.
Yeah, it worked some, but then he just kind of decided that it was his and he took it. So that was unfortunate. Kind of, I think if he could have stayed back there and I could have drove away, but it's nature of the beast. We're at a short little track, and the bumper's gonna get used, so it is what it is. He's just gonna keep trying pulling away with the championship lead, but I'll try to step up my game and go get him.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting in great results. I mean, not to put him on his own league because there are so many great drivers within this series and within this season, but he is proving something right now. But I mean, I think I would say you are one of these staples of the Misfit Touring Series. You've been around since season one. You are a winner, and you're always contending for podiums. It seemed in the past couple of races you've been starting at the end of the top 10 or outside of the top 10, always finding a way to get back into the top five. What was different about maybe qualifying here and what happened during the race? Because you were top three the entire race.
Yeah, I mean, really didn't qualify great again tonight. I qualified sixth and just caught the invert. And
Fair
I
point.
didn't really, I didn't touch Q in practice. The first time I ever touched the Q setup was when I had to go touch my lap. So I turned a lot of race laps in practice, which helped. But yeah, if I would have turned more laps on Q, probably would have queued better. But
Only other thing I noticed during the race, I saw just a couple of times mid run, it was real easy for a lot of drivers, and not just you, but to get loose out of turn two. And Tursak was talking about it with the 1/8 steering wheel and just putting a little wheel into it. Was that what you were feeling? Because it seemed to just hurt your tires, obviously.
yeah, I'd be really good for the first probably 10 laps of the run, and then Um, if I kept driving it the same way throughout the whole run, and eventually just having that much wheel into it hurt off exit, and I didn't really know that was the cause of it until Hale said something after the race. So if I would have known that mid race, might have had a different outcome. Might have had better tires and maybe more long run speed. But yeah.
Anyone you like to thank tonight?
Of course, I gotta thank JNS Sales and Service, AW Clark Builders, Curly Transport, White's Heating, RKM Setup Shop, KCB Addy Racing, Grout Motorsports. We got some cool stuff coming up next year, so it's gonna be fun.
Well, thank you, Jake. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on a podium.
Thank you.
Jay Grout will round out your top three and the results of the podium from the LA Coliseum. Well, it seemed like, especially from the top three, Bradley, that all the drivers loved this track tonight.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they put a poll up in the Discord or maybe in a chat somewhere if that would be the case. I mean, we had 15 cars out here. You heard from three of them. Everybody seemed to like it in the top half of the field, but I think it's going to be kind of that 50-50 split. And, you know, you look at guys like Landon Atkins, who got pinned on the outside in hemorrhage positions, couldn't recover his race. You had drivers like Greggy Long, who had position, could get to the inside, definitely had the drive, but couldn't complete the pass to get around somebody. So I think track time maybe would change the mindset of some of these drivers. But at the same time, like I said, I've only had one broadcast here, and it can be a caution fest. So you kind of got to take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, it was good tonight, but it could go wrong for the next one.
It could go a lot worse. And I think we were just playing it safe tonight, obviously, at Oxford Plains when we had our first Triple Crown Showdown race. It was 250 laps. And this is only 125 tonight. I'd love to also hear the answer from that question to Jake Sylvia, Christian Peterson, Brandon Elvis, Jace Hale, and some more seasoned drivers that have run with us for quite a long time. But we won't know the answer to that tonight. And you've heard our final thoughts. We thank you for watching. We thank you for holding with us through our technical difficulties. And thank you, Bradley Cooper, producer and analyst, for all that you do. And we appreciate you very much. 1 week from now, Southern National, excellent 24 degrees of banking, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be right here on V-Speed. You've caught all the action on V-Speed tonight. We got tons of broadcasts happening all throughout the week and our excellent teams. Check them out at the channel. Thank you for watching this evening. My name is Scott Shive. We'll see you in 1 week's time.